First, it was media pundits dabbling in conspiracy theories. Now a member of Congress is doing it. Massachusetts Democrat Seth Moulton floated the conspiracy theory without any evidence on Fox the other night that Trump did the missile strikes on Syria in order to distract from the Russia probe. Listen.
It's one thing to say, okay, members of the Trump administration met with Russian officials. That kind of thing happens a lot. Maybe it's ominous, maybe it's not.
Well, and to lie about it. And that's an important thing.
That's fine. You're saying now that the military action we just saw on Thursday night may have been coordinated with the Russians to throw sleuths like you off the scent. That appears to be what you're saying. And that just seems like a huge conspiracy to me.
Well, it's a conspiracy if it's a conspiracy, but the reality is I'm just giving it to you as a plausible explanation. No, and that's why I said I'm not going to confirm it. Look, I know you would love for me to say that and confirm it. I'm just saying that there are people who think that. There are Americans who think that.
Who are they?
A plausible explanation. Well, let's bring Red Alert senior contributor Gianno Caldwell and Democrat strategist Basil Smikle. Okay, Gianno, Seth Moulton, he's a member of the Armed Services Committee. He's promoting this hyper-florid conspiracy on live TV, no evidence. Here's where things go haywire. Trump's airstrikes did not stop the FBI probe into Russia. Doesn't that undercut this conspiracy theory?
There's a number of things that undercuts his conspiracy theory, and I often say it doesn't matter what side are you on. There's enough out there for you to be completely honest about it, and considering the fact this is a guy that's on an armed service committee, I am very ashamed of this particular member of Congress, similarly to what he said in January when he said he was ashamed of President Trump right after he got inaugurated, not even giving him an opportunity. Considering the fact that we're talking about Russian officials that were actually in Syria when we dropped those missiles, considering the fact that President Trump has been very, very tough with Putin, and as a result of the Tillerson meeting, you saw how the Russians have been responding, very forceful to our diplomats. Considering the fact that we continue to provide diplomacy in this area in the Middle East and go after Assad and anyone else that's an existential geopolitical threat to us, I think that's enough fodder to say that Donald Trump is not a pawn for the Russians.
You know, Basil, it's pretty obscene to say victims gassed to death are just props in a political power struggle, right?
Yeah. You know, I will tell you, and this may surprise you, I don't like the idea of injecting a conspiracy theory into all of this. We saw for 6 years what Assad was doing in the civil war that took place there. There were a lot of folks and a lot of members of Congress that said we should have done something more. I do think a healthy skepticism is important, because as a member of Congress, I think it's important to go down there and actually do your job. If you feel that President Trump is overstepping his bounds or might, it's important to call him or the administration to the Capitol and say, what's your plan, what's your strategy?
Yeah, you want checks and balances.
I do actually think that's important.
That's fair, but you can tell this particular member of Congress was playing politics when right after the missiles hit, you had people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer praising the decision of the president. This guy goes counter to everything that President Trump did in his action, but you got his leadership that praised the decision.
We got to move on. Putin went on local television in Russia today after Tillerson sat down with the Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov to say, you know, relations are worse now than they were under Obama. Here's a quote. One could say that the level of trust on a working level, especially on the military level, not improved, rather deteriorated. So, Basil, it sounds like, you know, how could they be in collusion if things are that bad? I mean, even Democrats on Senate Intelligence, Adam Schiff, said there's no proof of collusion between Trump and Russia.
You know, I understand that there's no sort of that smoking gun that because there are a lot of dots that are still trying to be connected, and I totally get that and understand that. But I do think, and it goes back to the other point, there's nothing wrong with a healthy skepticism. There's nothing wrong with trying to get to the bottom of things. And I am concerned that we are using the military as this sort of political football. And what that does is it demoralizes them. It demoralizes some great... How is that so? Well, because honestly, there are people that have been doing this for the better part of their adult lives and are very committed to what they're doing. And I don't want it to be seen...
I hear what you're saying, but they're stopping... Again, you know, for the use of chemical warfare, which is a war crime. I hear what you're saying, Basil, but, you know, so that's the issue, Gianna. But we do have to switch topics. MSNBC host Andrea Mitchell accused the Trump administration of flat-out lying to the American people. Let's listen.
I I've never seen anything like this, where people just flat out lie. I'm not talking about the president now, but people just, black is white and white is black, and they mislead you, and it's really disconcerting to see the podium in the White House briefing room being used to mislead or misdirect or obfuscate.
Now, the veteran correspondent also says the media, including herself, was, quote, harassing Hillary Clinton over her emails, that the media did do their jobs questioning Hillary Clinton and the emails. Denying that President Trump, the claim that Andrea Mitchell was an unofficial media spokesperson for the Clinton campaign. Gianno, Mitchell was revealed in WikiLeaks as one of the correspondents considered friendly by the Clinton campaign, coming out forcefully, though, saying, you know what, we in the media, according to people she works with, she's seeing it, that the Trump administration lies. What are your thoughts?
That's interesting. I'll drop one name on you, Congressman Joe Wilson. You remember when he said during I believe it was the State of the Union, you lie. And everyone, including Democrats and Republicans, said how that was inappropriate and how he should leave office and no one should ever call the president a liar, which here, although she said, I'm not talking about the president, she's alluded to it many, many times. So this becomes problematic. Do as I say, not as I do. And if this was the Obama administration, she would never, ever say that or allude to that in any case.
So quickly.
Well, first of all, that individual was a member of Congress, and it looks like even in his home district, people are calling him a liar. So, hey, I think, what's
this is the third estate,
But that said, but listen, that said, the president got in front of a camera and said that the Obama administration wiretapped him. So the question is...
He said it in quotes that it was being surveilled.
No, but
all right, we can't go there. We don't have enough time.
But the point is that, there is credible... it is credible to say that the president or the White House has said things that are very misleading and that they need to go back and correct, which they do not do.
Or Hillary Clinton said misleading things.
All right, we got to leave it there. We got to leave it there. Gianno and Basil, you're going to be back in just a bit.